Hey everyone, and welcome back for another video today. So in today's video, I am going to be doing another model from my Patreon, which is Spider-Man. Yeah, that's right, I do have a Patreon. That link is below in the description. Go check it out. We have several models over there now. Release about 3 models a month for $15 a month. Shameless plug. And got some pretty cool stuff over there already. So yeah, if you're looking for something, go over there and check it out. So for this model, I really wanted something very simplistic and kind of muscular, and unlike the slender Spider-Man that you see around today. And with that said, we're not going to waste a lot of time, guys. We're going to go ahead and dive right into this build. So if you remember in one of my last videos, I stated on there that I lost some footage because my phone completely died, and that's what I record with. Well, this is that video, and this is that footage. So I'm going to pick up where I started painting Spider-Man's head red, and I tried to use panel liner on it, and it didn't work very well at all. So you didn't miss much. Basically, all I did was I showed you what Spider-Man looked like beforehand, and primered up and everything like that, and getting ready to paint. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick up there now. So this is why the panel liner doesn't work very good. As you could see into the head up here, when I apply it, it bleeds into the red on the textures on the top of the head. So I'm going to actually use a very thin brush, and I'm going to hand paint this. As you can see, the body here, oh, that's a lot of webbing to do, and it's going to take a while. Now I'm going to paint the red on the Spider-Man, just this basic flat red here from Leo. So now, once I get all the red on here, this is what it's going to look like. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the blue. And I'm actually going to do a combination of hand painting this and basically airbrushing it, or I may just all hand paint it because I just don't like masking off. And then what I'm going to do is then we're going to go back in and we're going to do the shading before we do the webbing. And the reason you want to do the shading before you do the webbing is because if you shade after your webbing, you're going to have to go back in and do it anyway because you're going to be painting over the webbing. It's not going to look very good. So the webbing is the last thing that we're going to do. It's going to be the most time-consuming thing. So I'm going to go ahead and start on that blue, and I'm going to be using just a basic blue. So I may have got ahead of myself a little bit. I went ahead and I painted the blue on the body, and I didn't do the shadowing and stuff on the red. So I'm going to go back in and do that. I'm going to have some overspray to go onto the blue, so I'll have to go back and touch that up. And then I think what I want to do is I'm going to go back over the blue again with a lighter blue, and then do the darker blue shading on top of that. That way it'll actually I mean, I'm like doing double work, but I think it'll have a better effect on it with a lighter blue underneath, the darker blue shading on the top, or I'm sorry, the darker blue shading underneath and the lighter blue on top. I'll get it right in a minute. And then we can go ahead and we can go back in and touch up and fine detail and stuff like that. I'm like working in reverse here. I did not mean to do this, but it's one of those things that I just didn't think through clearly. So, let's go ahead and let's do some shading on the red. Okay, so this is all the shadowing put in on the red here. I went back in and did a little bit of line work on the blue. And like I said earlier, I was going to go ahead and just do a regular light blue on this and go back with the darker blue for the shading on the legs and everything. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little different. So what I'm going to do is I mixed up this sky blue right here. All I did was I just put some sky blue in here. and 2 drops of just your basic blue like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to airbrush some of the highlights onto here, like into the foreground area or whatever you want to call it, and the high points and everything. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with a royal blue, which is a really deep blue, and then I'm going to do the darker shading amongst all of the crevices and the shadow areas. And then I think we will be good on the body. And then at that point, I will seal it, and then we're going to get started on the webbing. And next I'm going to use this Titan blue here to go in for the shading. It's a little bit darker blue, and it's going to look pretty snazzy. Okay, so now we got all the shading done, all the highlights done. The next process is to do the webbing. This is going to take a while to do. And so the last thing I'm going to do, since I got all the webbing done, is I'm going to paint the spider here. And now the last thing to do is to paint the webbing on this other head and paint the eyes. And then we'll start to work on the base. Okay, so the base here, the top is actually from resin, and the bottom I printed in FDM here. So what I'm going to do is now primer it gray. I'm going to paint it this neutral gray here from Game Color, and then we're going to put a dark wash over it and start adding some highlights, and then we will do the accents as well. And then you see a little bit of up here, you see some of the little symbiote type of material here, and we'll paint that a gloss black. So now I'm going to use some of this dark neutral gray to push some of the elements on the bottom of it and make it stand out a little bit more. And then I'm going to use a little bit of this red gray here for the top of it to kind of make a little bit of streaking here in it to give it a little bit more weathering. Okay, and now the base is ready for a black wash. I'm going to do a black and a little bit of brown wash all over everything, And then I'm going to go ahead and use a light gray to do the accents, especially like right up here on the spiders and on the top edges and everything. And I'll paint the symbiote's goo or whatever you want to call it up there. And the base will be done and this model will be done. Now I'm going to go ahead and use this light gray here to do a dry brushing over all of the high points and accents. And I'm going to use this thick makeup brush here because I want it to really go on light and fluffy and not too harsh in some areas. And now I'll use a little bit of this erosion right here for some streaks and some rust effects. And now once I add all the symbiote goo to it, this model will be done. Okay everyone, thank you for tuning into today's video. I hope you got something out of it, whether it be learning how to paint webs or shading or something to do with 3D printing and painting. And don't forget to check out my Patreon. That link is below in the description. We have several models over there now, including Spider-Man, and might want to think about joining up on there, who knows. And also, if you like the content of the channel and you like the video, make sure to give me a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. And as always, everybody, stay safe out there. Get out and create something. Print, prep, paint, repeat. And until the next video, we'll see you. And I am already working on his good buddy Venom. Ultimate Venom video coming up soon.